tied up as this first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Men's and Women's National Championships. We're live from the Canoebrook Country Club in Summit, New Jersey, bringing you the 2026 APTA National Championships with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsor, Corient. Tournament support has also been provided by the following. Presenting sponsor, Land Rover Parsippany, where excellence comes standard. Platinum sponsors, Sea Louse, helping clients achieve their investment objectives since 1984. New Jersey Men's League, New Jersey Women's Platform Tennis League, and our gold level sponsors, P-Pack Private, Pure Hockey, Skinletics, UBS, Xenon, M4, and Viking. And our silver level sponsors, Wengo Social, Center Court, Spyro, Harrison, and Nelson, Courtside Rehab and Training, equals 5, Grant Holmes, Cisco, Susan Penny Parcells at Sotheby's, Jackson Lewis, Richard Wright from 1 Point BFG Wealth Partners, One Digital, Unity Jets, and Wealth Enhancement. And thank you to all our additional sponsors who helped make this event so spectacular. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mike Raleigh, bringing you a highly anticipated round of 32 match between our number 2 seeds of Nunez and Powers against a reunited team of Blake Anderson and Martin Bostrom, a very strong team indeed. Welcome to the booth.
Brad, thanks for having me, my friend. You got to be tired from that read-in.
Well, that's quite a read-in. And we have, of course, Carol Everton, our umpire, up in the chair.
Well, if you're looking at your screen here, we've got on the top of the screen Guy Nunez, the lefty on the left-hand side. His partner Mark Powers in the light blue vest. On the bottom left-hand side, Martin Bostrom and Blake Anderson on the right with the white hat. This will be great, great matchup. I mean, heck of a round of 32 here.
Yeah, it's actually great to see Anderson and Bostrom out there. I mean, they were semifinalists years, not that long ago. Bostrom and Anderson is a very strong team. Blake Anderson had some injury issues, a bad wrist. He really has stepped away from competition, and he's out here now. And, of course, Martin Bostrom has always been one of the great ball strikers on the tour. He's got cut finishers, hits both on the forehand and backhand side. He has a great serve. It's a very strong team, and they looked really good and fired up in that first round.
Well, and Blake, he's pulling double duty today. Isn't he a tournament director and or co-director?
Yeah, absolutely. He's on the tournament committee doing a lot of work for this event here that they've done so beautifully here at the Canoebrook Country Club. And he's out here playing, and he was fired up, though. We were both saying we saw him, they're switching in the backcourt. What you're going to see from Anderson and Bostrom is they're going to return with Anderson in the deuce and Bostrom in the ad, because that's the way they like to return from. Then they're going to switch quickly in the backcourt. However, in this matchup, we might see some different things because you have the lefty-righty combination of Nunez and Powers. And Nunez with his lefty overhead, if that becomes a factor, they may start to switch back.
See who can defend that
better.
Lefty junk better.
Yeah, of the two, I'm going to guess that they're going to put Anderson in most of the positions to defend more. We're going to see how this one plays out. And, of course, we're talking a lot about Anderson and Bostrom. It's great to see them out here. But, of course, we're at the number 2 seed here and former national champions Nunez and Powers. They were finalists last year, champions 2 years ago. It's one of the best volleying teams in the country. Powers forehand. You got to put it in the top 3 in the entire game probably. Nunez has got dink and blitz, incredible volleys, cut overheads. So it's a tough ask for Anderson and Bostrom.
Yeah, it'll be there's going to be offense from
everywhere?
Everywhere.
Yeah, from all sides of the court. And it's interesting because we can talk about that, and we always talk about speed of play. Do you think if it gets really fast, it's going to benefit one or the other?
I think it almost is. No, I don't have an answer, obviously.
Yeah, it's a tough one. In this case here, I think a lot of this stuff is going to be Bostrom will pull the trigger off both sides. He's got one of the sneakier drives. It's also heavy, but it's quick and it's hard to read. But Nunez and Powers are one of the best volleying teams in the country, flipping to the forehand, moving. Actually, not so much Nunez, Powers does. And I think if Martin's able to get his drive going and get the play to get in some transition, we're going to see how this one works out. But I feel like Bostrom and Anderson are going to have to play measured pace.
Yes.
You don't want it to get too fast, like a measured pace. It's not that they can't speed it up.
22 at the 2026 APTA Nationals at the Canoeburg Country Club in Summit, New Jersey. On my left, in the news court, Guillermo Nunez from Santiago, Chile, and Pelham, New York. His partner, the ad court, Mark Powers from the Creek Club in New York City, New York. On my right, in the news court, Blake Anderson, Fairmont Country Club, Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. His partner, Martin Bostrom in the ad court, Morris County Golf Club, and Watchung, New Jersey. Martin Bostrom to serve.
All right.
2 out of 3 server's choice on no ad.
There's Kel Evertson giving us the rules. Martin Bostrom to start this match off here on Stadium 2 Seal House Court. And we are underway. And, of course, she did outline the rules for us. Of course, the new scoring system on the men's side. It is basically no ad scoring. So as soon as they get to deuce, the serving team gets to choose who they want to serve to. He flips at that volley. Surprising little miss there.
Yeah, I really like watching Bostrom play. I mean, he's got great spins. He hits a heavy roller up at the net as well. He's just very dynamic. I mean, all 4 of these players are extremely dynamic.
Yeah, and we've said it before. Bostrom and Anderson, a few years ago before Anderson had his injury issues, they were right there to go to the semifinals, of nationals, and they just got injured. All sorts of things happened, and from that point on, they really haven't been able to play. And from what I hear too, this is Martin Bostrom's swan song. It's kind of gone a little bit unnoticed. This is going to be his last nationals.
Oh, really?
So they're going to leave everything on the table, and of course, he's been a very, very good player. He's a former husband-wife national winner, mixed national winner. He hasn't been able to get one of these, but top of the game for many, many years. So it's good to see him out here, and this matchup here should be a really good one. That's a great rip there from Anderson. Big two-hander.
Yeah, that's quite a weapon. I mean, as we saw him pull the trigger on that two-hander at, I think it was the setup match point in their earlier match. Off the deck, he hammers it, but we clearly saw that ball comes off. But 45 degrees out there, so the ball's fairly bouncy. That's the hard ball off that back screen. If Nunez doesn't cut it enough, it's going to hang, and more than likely he'll continue to punish that.
That one's long. He goes huge there, Nunez. The big backhand at the body. Bostrom gets out of the way. Good start for Bostrom Anderson as these players feel themselves out here. Yeah, and if there's a hometown crowd rooting advantage, I think it would have to go for the Jersey crowd. You got the sentimental factor. Both Bostrom and Anderson, pros here in the New Jersey area. Great lob, and you can see Anderson doesn't even bother coming in there. He knows that it's going to be a good look for Nunez.
And the reason he didn't come in, because if you see it, and so many of these players, if they feel as if they do not have almost a guarantee, a 50-50 volley that they don't feel comfortable volleying, they'll just let it go through in transition.
And not only that, you could see actually that Mark Powers sort of stayed into the service line area. He knows that Nunez is going to get a good look there. So if Nunez just gets it under the net, they're volleying up, and Powers is going to cut it off anyway. This is probably a wise move. If you're the guy straight ahead of the play, you can kind of go in, because if he comes at you, you're not worried about the cutoff volley. You can volley straight. But if you're the guy on the diagonal across the court, it makes it even harder. Anderson, slippery drive there. Looks like he's going to rip it through the middle. Goes inside out and gets a beautiful crease on the next ball. Again, just staying back. Yep.
And Anderson and Bostrom, you know, came off 6-1-7-5 in their first round match, so they're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, kind of where you see Nunez and Powers. This is their first match of the tournament.
No,
so.
well, they had a first round, but it was
they?
easy. Yeah, 0-2. Yeah, everybody here full 64 draw, and Powers and Nunez were able to win 0-2 against you know, one of the great teams, Lubau and Stulak.
Oh yes.
New Jersey crowd. Yeah, Martinetti and Opasek, who they played in the first round, are a good team. So it's a good test. And you can see how fired up Bostrom and Anderson were in that match. We were watching a bit of it live. And they looked sharp. You know, they had a good test in the second set. So in terms of like who's more warmed up, ready to play, you definitely have to say the advantage would go to Bostrom and Anderson, and they got 2 break points right now. The crease, good lob there. And in a lot of cases, you know, Bostrom always has been one of the best hitters in the game. He's never necessarily been super disciplined. Like, you know, sometimes he hits and misses, you know, and it can come at various spots. He can be a little bit streaky. So far, he looks just dialed in, making all good choices, and that's going to be a big factor in this whole match.
A little screenplay from Anderson.
Yeah, worked out. And that's cut finish. Masterfully done. But Nunez won too many balls here. Anderson's still in the net. He thinks he can catch him, and he's just right on top.
Boy.
Full swinging cut. Perfect winner there from Anderson. Wow. I'm sure we're going to see that on, you know, Cutter Con, Cutter whatever. And they actually have a Cutter's Cafe. They've done an amazing job here at the Canoeber Country Club here.
Yeah, the setup, Hall of Fame dinner last night was fantastic. Congratulations to the host professional, Drew Broderick. And I mean, that was a great dinner. Great event.
Yes.
Jared Palmer as well. They won it, what, 3 years in a row?
3 years in a row. One of only 3 men's teams to have won 3 years in a row. Not that many out there. Well-deserved Hall of Fame induction for both Jared Palmer and Drew Broderick. And, of course, as you mentioned here at the Canoeber Country Club, which is Drew Broderick's home club. I love their strategy so far. They're going in hard, you know, mostly into the Powers screen. You know, he's getting a forehand look here and there, but and these guys just aren't firing on all cylinders yet. So it's moving quick. Oh, little setup there, and it looked like a pretty easy ball, but I wonder if he looked up and saw Powers coming in, and then he changed his shot. Oh, that was a big miss there, so it was a break point for Nunes Powers. Powers pulls the trigger on the forehand, which he pretty much will do on almost all high forehands. They go right back at him, and they get a nice let cord winner.
Routine. Okay. Today's event is proudly sponsored by Land Rover Parsippany. Experience exceptional service and luxury performance. Visit LandRoverParsippany.com. Boy, they're off to a quick start here. 3-love lead. That kind of somewhat answers your question about the quick play.
Yeah, but I mean, these guys right now, they're just playing beautifully, and it's almost like Nunes Powers haven't figured out what they're trying to do yet. You know, they haven't even come out of the box yet.
Yeah.
You know, they're like a horse that's still like in the gate. You know, we're going to see how this works out. But right now, Bostrom Anderson are just playing a beautiful match, but these points are going quick, right? You know, it's not like anyone's grinding and trying to find a spot. This is just moving fast, and Anderson, little lucky there with the let cord, some good fortune. Ball bounce goes their way there. But so far, and I think Anderson and Bostrom, you know, are looking to make this. This is, like we said, you know, Bostrom Swan Song. They're excited for this match.
Yeah.
And they got nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose, right? You know, and Nunes Powers, you know, they're one of the teams that's vying for the national championship. Anderson Bostrom is good enough to win the national champion. They are that good. You know, this is like a tough draw. And in terms of, like, the one thing you didn't want to see in the round of 32, but you didn't want to see Anderson Bostrom. No, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no question. Oh, he sees him up. He's going to hit a roller towards his feet. He just pulls it wide. Yeah, we'll see what happens when Nunes Powers just get that first game under their belt. And I feel like the match will even out a little. They lobbed over Nunez about 10 times already. It's just beautiful deep lobs from Anderson. He's dialed in.
Yeah, you know, this 3-love lead is deceptive. You know, there's no panic in Nunez and Powers. I mean, they're down one break, and they had, you know, a sudden deuce game lost on the let cord.
Yep. Yeah, they had 2 break points in that game. Powers missed the first return, and the second one just a little fortunate bounce there. We all know that's how it goes. And these are the first couple of errors that we're actually seeing here from, you know, from Anderson and Bostrom. There's a switch in the backcourt.
First one.
And we talked about the possibility that they may be, you know, of Nunez hitting his over. We haven't seen him really hit a single cut overhead yet. The lobs have been too good. He's been lobbed over like 7-8 times.
Game Powers. Anderson and Bostrom lead 3-1 in the first set.
All right, so a little communication there from Anderson Bostrom. You'd love to see that. They lose their first game. And Bostrom has a slippery serve. He doesn't really go after it, but you don't know when he's going to. He can hit the explosive serve that hits the back wire and goes all the way to the side. And he comes in with this lazy motion, but it's hard to necessarily just tee off on because it always gives you pause.
It's got
like
a little,
it's got some kick, movement. But you're not sure when he's going to add more to it. And he can do it with a simple, like, change in the way he accelerates. He's got a lot of speed and power that he works with. More than most, actually.
Well, and he's, what, 6'3" as well? I mean, that doesn't hurt.
I mean, if he's wearing lifts, you know, but. All right, see, now we're seeing a couple of the errors just kind of creep in. The fault, the missed overhead. We didn't see any of those in the first 3 games. And this is where, of course, Nunes and Powers are going to try to make their move, and they're going to need to. If somebody opens the door for you, you better walk through it. Yeah, smartly he stays back. Easy two-hander there from Bostrom. Long cutter.
I think one of the things, if you're paying attention to overall kind of point ending overheads, how now it's that cut overhead, you know, that lands shallow and just almost just plops, right?
Right.
And you
inside the service box. It never leaves the service box. It just dies back there.
But you don't see many balls that are finished like into the side screen of the corner.
Yeah, not so much. I would have thought he was going to go. That's a beautiful drop shot there. And Nunez got to watch out. that's a couple of times now where he's almost baiting him into it. Like he's hitting the ball and standing right on top of the net, Anderson. He knew that was coming. And Nunez just gave it to him. Perfect drop shot finish. They can sneak this game out of here. That would be huge. Keep some distance. And Powers misses that forehand, so another break point saved. So far they've saved 4 break points. And they're going to get another sudden death game here. And they're going into Powers, who moves around it and just blocks it back, puts it in the lob. Wow, great hold there.
Good eye there from Bostrom to let that ball go.
Anderson and Bostrom.
Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because, whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA.
Yeah, so great hold there from Anderson and Bostrom. And so far, we're going to take a look at the court director stats later on, but that's 2 sudden deuce games won by Bostrom and Anderson, and that's 5 break points saved. And some have been saved, but there've just been some plain old misses too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was a couple of just plain old misses, and they fell right into it. And, you know, so right now, 3 for 3, you know, sudden deuce games, 2-0, break points converted, 0 of 5. Right, whereas it's 1 for 1, and that's just the tail of the tape right there. It could have been 3-2 easily. We expected it to be, in fact, but a great way to pull that game out. And definitely some help coming from Nunez and Powers, meaning they're, you know, that last over, he missed a forehand in the middle, Powers. He missed that backhand. Do I think they were bad looks? Do you think they were bad looks?
Not at all.
Necessarily bad looks. You're just missing them, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, execution, of course, becomes always a part of every game. And right now, they're just not doing it as well as Anderson and Bostrom.
I think we looking forward in this match to, you know, where Anderson was all over the net and we saw him hit that drop shot off of one of those probing drives from Nunez. If Nunez, I mean, that's his style, right, to try to kind of create a little bit of chaos and put the pressure on it. He might drive and blitz. But with Anderson on top of the net, that's a great two-hander.
Oh, look at that. A tweener with touch. Purposeful touch dink tweener. That's outstanding. Look at this. Look at this. Tweener with touch. I guarantee you he did that on purpose. He put that under the net. That's how skilled it was. Phenomenal shot.
Do you teach that?
As much as possible. All the time. All right, today, this is what we're working on. There you go. And, yeah, it's a great shot. A ridiculous shot, actually. But I think to your point before about where he was waiting for that, you know, three-quarter drive, and he's right on top of the net, one of the things he's just going to have to do is right now, and in the first couple of games, too, he got caught and Anderson hit another drop winner, right? Mm-hmm. He's just going to have to maybe set that up better. You know, lob a few more times. Right now, Anderson's just looking for it, right? The only way that stuff works is when your opponent's not looking for it, right? You got to soften him up, get him off the net a little bit first, and then it works. That's a good. I like that when if he can get into a dink exchange with Bostrom, you know, that's not a bad move. I'm going to give the advantage to Nunez there. Bostrom had the right idea, a little dink down the line back.
But you saw where Nunez was able to put the ball below net level, and that's kind of an open door to come in behind it.
You can see a perfect view of Bostrom picking away with that backhand. One to the right hip, one to the left hip.
Nunez and Powers. We're at 4-2. Anderson and Bostrom lead.
All right, so 5 break points so far saved
15 love
from Bostrom and Anderson. It's been the story in the match. Jump out to a quick 3-love lead. Of Nunez finally kind of get into it a little bit. Don't quite find the right rhythm and execution yet. There's a good call. Yeah, no.
Full commitment.
Yeah, full commitment, right? Yes, no, maybe. At least it's communication.
Boy, I like, and there was you saw a little change in how Powers and Nunez have played this year on those hard overheads into the side screen of Powers on the ad side. You notice how Powers just let it go, and Nunez is now driving that ball
from up high.
Yeah,
it's a good move. I tell you right now, Anderson and Bostrom are just doing a phenomenally good job at closing off, seeing the drives that are possibly coming and just closing them off. And that's a tough one. I mean, I'll take that look any day from Powers over many others he can have.
Right.
He's 4 feet behind the baseline. It's high, but I'd rather he hit that than anything else. So good job by them.
As an opponent, you'd rather see
right,
him.
yes. I don't want to have a forehand inside the blue, inside the court. But if he's behind it and hitting his high back, he gets him high in the body there.
30-15.
Anderson couldn't duck it. I don't think that was going in. It's hard on our angle to tell here, but just like right up in the body.
But a great lesson there as he hit
Stay
an
low.
aggressive shot too. But for Powers, an aggressive shot at the position
body, yeah.
rather than around him.
See, that play looks so seamless. It was a design poach play for Bostrom to move across, and Anderson's going to stay back. So Bostrom can't make the poach, so immediately they just transition right back, and perfect play. All teams have that. And at every level, whether you're a beginning player or a top player, you need to develop those service strategies.
Just not going to let Nunez get super dialed in, hitting the same return. Gives him a different look. And today's players too, they're so adept at playing in the backcourt as well as, back or at the net.
Game. Anderson Bostrom lead the first set 5-2.
Yeah, right now, I mean, Nunes Powers still seem just totally calm, totally fine. But right now, Anderson Bostrom just playing better.
Yeah. You haven't seen yet Nunez or Powers being able to kind of take over.
It's almost, Anderson and Bostrom are just doing a better job closing off the net, executing a little more there. That last point just turned around on a hard overhead into Bostrom's forehand. He hits the good cross court. They're just working him around the court and making him miss. And the other guys are kind of falling into almost overdriving a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Anderson Bostrom just lobbed much better. So you haven't seen a single – have you seen a single forcing overhead that's put pressure on Anderson and Bostrom yet in the backcourt? Real pressure.
No.
Yeah, not a one, right? They're just lobbing too well.
Good hands from Powers there.
Ball's a little low. You can hear Bostrom yell, get under it. He's got to hit up on that one a little more. I tell you, if you had to write up sort of a swan song, I don't know what your swan song in Nationals was, Mike, this would be a pretty good one. For Anderson Bostrom, take out the second seeds, advance through the draw a bit.
Nice cut.
It would be a phenomenal swan song story to a great career for Martin Bostrom. And actually, it's just amazing and fun to see Blake Anderson back out here. communication between Anderson and Bostrom. They're also really good friends. You know, they hang out, do stuff, wine tastings. Very sophisticated gentlemen. Yeah, imagine that. All right, so 5-3 now for Anderson and Bostrom. Good hold there.
And the sudden deuce games have all come on the paddles of when the serving team has been Bostrom and Anderson. So they're knocking on the door of the breaks here. They're going to need it to stay in this first set.
I love that long, deep one that's cutting in there to the Powers backhand side. Very effective. They've given Powers some forehands, but very few that he's been able to do that dictating thing where he moves the ball around. You know, good job mixing the ball in there, and they're really working it in there to the Powers backhand side and only taking a dump. We've seen Nunez hasn't really had the ability to create either. And this has been where they might actually, we're talking about slowing it down. If I'm Powers Nunez, I play some slow, long points and get the one ball they want. Everything they've tried to do right now looks a little forced.
Well, and you know, I think to that point that when you're firing on all cylinders, you know, those balls that you kind of, those borderline drivable balls, that you're making them. You know, and if you're a little...
you mean when you're not missing, when you're on.
Yeah, and they're not quite there yet. So I think...
Oh, bad look there. That was a tough cut, a little late to the party, but great quick move there from Powers. He one-times that.
I think you got to cut a little of the let cord, too.
Some good fortune there. Powers and Nunez will take that. That's going to get hit. Yeah, good luck. Chip. Oh, again, he knows it. He's right there, just so close to the net.
When you notice here, he's looking up to see, is he coming or not, and he changes his volley and misses it.
Yeah. It's a touch, tremendous touch there from Nunez. Oh, all right.
First lob that Anderson's missed.
Yeah. So a little moment here. Can they save 4 more break points? So far, Nunes Powers
0 for 5.
0 for 5, right. Great call. Tries for a little extra on that drive. 0 for 6 now. The break points. Another one saved. Good poach move. So close to the net. Great move from Anderson.
Oh.
Hard overhead, bounces it out of the court. And Nunes Powers get their first break, Mike. 5-4. They got a chance here to tie it up. Yeah, I think they got the same ball back, or are they going to a new one here?
Whatever you all decide on is fine. Okay? Whatever you decide on is fine, but we did 5 on the first one.
All right, so Carol Everton in the chair doing a great job. I tell you, from the last Grand Prix, which was Midwestern, so weather was decent there, but back-to-back for these umpires in Boston and Short Hills at 0 degrees and negative temperatures.
They were earning their money. Yeah.
It was crazy out there, and it's always interesting how weather plays a part in the Nationals. You know, it's going to be close to 50 degrees here by Sunday, I think, and yet they're playing these major matches at 0 degrees just a month ago.
Yeah.
And you have to adjust. All these players do, and it's kind of fun as you look into the season. That serves a little long. Some teams are better warm weather teams. It's almost like you can be like, oh, we like it. Ball's coming off the screen, more action, right?
Yeah, the change of the styles of play. You know, you go from no transition or very little transition when you're Arctic temperatures to now. It's 50 degrees, you'll see that transition game throughout. It's a great lob from Bostrom.
Yeah, perfect lob down the line. And good duck there from Nunez. Third panel smash, trying to move him out of position, switching the backcourt now.
That ball was still spinning.
It was
Nunez
spinning off
overhead.
of, yeah, from Nunez overhead off of the
paddle and then off the deck.
Right. And I think it actually affected, Powers couldn't do a lot with it,
yeah.
you know, because he was worried about how it was spinning. Oh, it's a good move. He just gets a little stretch there. Powers gets it just far enough away from Anderson.
Boy, if you pay attention here, Nunez has hit 4 overheads in a row, not one with same location.
Same one, yeah.
You know, and
different spin, different heights it's coming from sometimes, right?
And these players, they get used to, you know, I mean, they become accustomed to the spins, but when you've got a lefty, righty both spinning like Powers and Nunez, it's much harder to get accustomed to both. Oh, wow.
Yeah, great move.
Good volley from Bostrom.
Yeah, brazen attack there. And you see Nunez at all moments he's looking to go forward. He's so good at the attack and volley blitz game. He'll try to mix it up with almost anybody at any time. Powers can blitz, but he's more forehand derived. Like he's going to start picking at you with a forehand, then he might make a quick move in there. Nunez, he's always ready to go forward. Look at him. Yeah, there he is again, just pushing. And he has confidence that he can get back if you go at him or behind him. That's a good quick lob. Oh, they're both in there. That's a problem. They're both quick enough, and they both get there. Would have been easier if Nunez just got it and Powers trailed. Yeah, that's tough. Or maybe the other way around. Who do you think should have gotten that? Or it's tough to make a communication in that time.
I know,
you just got to go.
If I was playing,
it would be your partner.
Me.
It makes life a lot simpler. Hey, these guys should be playing with you, Mike. You know I'm not getting
There'd
it.
be no way, no chance of a collision.
Yeah, it was a good setup there. It was a fortunate, it's kind of a miss-hit volley. I don't even think that was a drop volley. It just ended up going short, and it worked out really well. All right, so Anderson and Bostrom, 2 points from the first set. And just as Nunes Powers are kind of creeping in, could tie this thing up. A huge moment here in the match, 15-30. I expect we see a super, like, steady point.
Yeah.
Just dumping it in there. I like it. Nunez just baiting him, but they're deep enough. Bostrom takes the shot. Nunez transitions back. They're going to settle back in again here. Yeah, Bostrom hit the forehand and the backhand, but the backhand's slightly better. It's a very tricky read. Good gets there from Anderson. That quick lob down the line was fantastic, masterfully done. At the perfect height and perfect pace, so 3 set points for Anderson and Bostrom. Let's see if Nunez and Powers can return the favor, get a few break points back. So far, they've been 100% 1 for 1 for Anderson and Bostrom on the break points. Powers and Nunez have to save 3 in a row. Stay in this set. It's a good look, just long.
Yeah, I like that look. I mean, in a good miss. Missed it long.
Yeah, versus in the net. Yeah, it gives him a chance to possibly reach and get it. No question. Oh, that'll do it right there. Bostrom finishes that first set.
Anderson Bostrom, 6 games to 4.
All right, and we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming by Joe Hohen's Streambox Labs with match statistics provided by Court Director.
A lot of founders start out with an idea, maybe in a garage, in a shared workspace, and really being a co-pilot along that whole journey from ideation to execution to maybe monetization one day is really the role we've decided to take in the marketplace. So I feel like we have really found a part of the market and offering that just really hasn't existed. It's this coaching, it's therapy, it's co-piloting on a journey that is unique.
Since 1990, Grant Homes has built more than 200 homes throughout northern New Jersey. We specialize in designing homes shaped around your vision, each one distinct and personal to the way you live. Our team brings together the architect, engineers, designers, and landscape professionals, coordinating every detail from the beginning. Jay Grant remains personally involved from concept to reality, guiding both client and team from planning through construction, right up to move in. Our business platform is Open Book Construction Management. Clients see every cost, both soft and hard, with complete transparency from day one. Grant Homes, building distinctive homes with transparency, craftsmanship, and personal commitment.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Brad Easterbrook with Mike Raleigh, where Anderson and Bostrom just took the first set. They got half of it done against Nunes Powers here. And, you know, they're a great team up again here. It's a great team back in there. Let's take a look at the match statistics brought to you by Court Director. All right, so let's see if we can get those up here. Hey, Jake. You got a Court Director statistics for us? I got to wake him up over there. There we go. Thanks, buddy.
We had a changing of the guard. They were caught in the change.
You know, it did look like, funny enough, like Nunes Powers winning more points, 53% of the points won, but losing 6-4, and it all comes down to the break points converted. 1 of 7 for Nunes Powers, 2 of 3 for Anderson and Bostrom.
Yeah.
And that's really the tail of the tape. Sudden deuce wins 2-0. There's the first set. Anderson Bostrom jumped out quickly, 3-love lead. And then it was kind of the balance, and they got to that 5-4 point, and you thought, you know, okay, here come Nunes Powers, right?
Yep.
You know, second seeds doing what the second seeds do. And, you know, fall into a little trap, make an error, and quickly there, Bostrom Anderson take that set. So it's unique, and it's great to see those Court Director statistics there. How many times does it really happen where you lose more points than your opponents but win the set?
Yeah.
It's very rare. But this one comes down to the sudden deuce wins and to, you know, just the timeliness of those break points converted versus not. And for Nunes Powers, you know, they probably just like, you know, we lost a set, happens. And it's funny because when you're in the moment, it's hard to even imagine, like, did we win more points than they did?
Yeah.
Yet they did. And they got to just be like, hey, look, some bad fortune. In one of the points they won, it was a let cord, little drop. They had another huge moment where they both ran for the drop shot. That was a big point.
Yeah.
Right? And then that goes the way of Anderson and Bostrom. And, ball bounces funny.
Yeah, they were differentiated by 3 points total. And, 2 of those were the sudden deuce points that Anderson and Bostrom won.
A little wide there. And Bostrom has used that quick lob down the line over Powers' heads. And I love that shot, because against Nunes Powers, they're not that tall, right? That's the one thing they're not. They're everything else. They have massive weapons.
They're not
fast.
blonde either.
They're not blonde.
Yeah.
Correct. And, but so you hit a good, quick, low lob, and it pushes them up and back very quickly, and it gives you an opportunity to get a down, up, overhead, or even an error. Ball's jumping around out there. We were talking about that a little out of the air. We haven't seen a ton, only a few cut finishers, but it's very available to you in this kind of weather. The ball is moving.
We talked about the cold weather at Short Hills and Boston, and that limits the spin ability, the ability to kind of cut, finish, just because you don't get the same bite on the ball.
Yeah, the compression of the ball, it gives you drop shot abilities and things like that, but you don't get that ability to just spin the ball into the screen the way you could normally do. Yeah, it's move there. That's 2 for 2 now. Powers seeing him come up the line, he gets him. It's a move for Blake Anderson he's using, but he's got to realize also that he's got coverage behind him. If he's on the full stretch, he can let it go. It's going to go back and then up in the middle, and Martin Bostrom can cover that for him. You see a Powers blitz, and just easily they get out of the way. They know they're on the wrong side of that. Usually you want to stay in when you think you have advantage or it's at least neutral, and just get out of there anytime you know it.
What a dig.
Wow. The hands there from all these guys. I mean, it was a great dig followed by a get of the drop shot, and then Powers makes a terrific reflex.
Nunes Powers lead the second set. 1 game to love.
All right.
Bostrom Anderson won the first set. 6
Again,
games to 4.
Carol Everton, that's doing a great job up in the chair, giving us the score, and that's a good start. Nunes Powers, very different than the start they had in the first set where they were playing uphill the whole way. And it also bodes well that actually Bostrom took that low drive, and tried to hit it. That's what they want him to hit, not something above the net he's hitting down. That's good. And Bostrom's going to want to put that in his pocket more because it's not a lot to gain even if he makes that one. It's hitting up to those guys, and we've seen how good a volleying team Nunes and Powers is. And, this set is all going to come down to choices and execution like most sets do, right? But you can see the the tenor of the match being very different. You can start seeing Nunez starting to work his overheads, getting the attack.
Inserting himself a little bit more.
You know, so more of the things that Nunez and Powers do, they're starting to appear here. Yeah, see, those are good looks.
And you see kind of how Nunez sets up into the deuce corner, just working the deuce, and then when he gets that short lob, he slings it, you know, with that heavy slice into the ad side.
Yeah, does a great job with that. You know, he'll go, like you said, he does so many different overheads from the same setup, and frequently not two in a row, right?
Yeah.
And then he'll take same ball and he'll slide it long across the court to the other side when the guy doesn't expect it.
You see the variety too in the backcourt when they're driving. You know, we had, you know, soft roll drive, then the hammer. They changed their locations and speeds and spins as well.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, like setting up and then sometimes kind of slapping it a little harder, taking a little off, rolling it a little less. I love this balance of how they're playing this point. And you see, you know, Blake Anderson could have crushed that ball, but instead he goes for a three-quarter drive afterwards. It's like they're just throwing constant, you know, kind of different looks, trying to catch them off guard. And if they get a simple one, they're going to tattoo it, but none of these are that simple. And they got to get them out of position first.
And a lot of times that first drive is like the setup, you know, where they can move into the court and either blitz in behind it or.
Nice dig. Powers going for the extra cutter, and he gets it. Yeah, when you get it off the bounce, you get the double cut. Right?
Remember, Uline used to hit that. And he'd like change the rotation of the earth.
Time slowed down for just a split second. Yeah, of course, Hall of Famer Brian Uline, Chicago area, great guy, great player. I always felt like he should have had a nickname. Did you guys have a nickname for him out there in Chicago?
Not really.
No.
I mean, Baby U, I think Rod Workman from on Wednesday.
Baby U?
Baby U.
Maybe. Good close. Powers gets the cut. Oh, he almost gets it around the net post, does Bostrom, but great cutter there. And you can see, like we said, the ball is moving today. And right now you can see some of this cut starting to affect Bostrom and Anderson a little bit.
Well, if it's hit well, it's also disguised in the sense that they can't charge forward because at the threat of that heavy ball, the cut ball through the court, it forces them to kind of
hold their position. Yeah. You notice patterns in these matches as they go on first, too. In the first 5 or 6 games, you know, Nunez and Powers, they got lobbed over. Like Anderson lobbed it over them like 5, 6 times. How many times they lobbed it over him since, right? So things are getting a little shorter, not lobbing quite as well. All these things are just going to make not a little difference, a massive difference as time goes on. You're going to see if they don't, get back to lobbing well again, we're going to see the attack from Nunes Powers. Look at that little pickup play. And Bostrom tries to just
thread the needle.
Thread the needle is right. And I think it looked like he tried to hit it right on the line. And that's just too tight a margin. All right, again, I love the communication between Bostrom and Anderson. Oh, there probably should have been like a transition behind from Powers because he's coming all the way to Powers' side. He should move all the way in there, but that's just a stuffed volley. I think it's stuffed. Great quick lob there from Powers. And Bostrom's starting to miss a couple little cracks.
Yeah, in order for Bostrom and Anderson to win the match, they need to sustain, and is it sustainable that first set that they played? They played not a perfect set, but they played extremely well and limited kind of some of those errors that starting to creep in.
Yeah, and it was also good perfect storm, as we did talk about. They actually lost more points than Nunes Powers, right? But they still won the set. So that's a question of good fortune, too. A little bit of both things. And here you can see the tables are just creeping over the other direction. And they're just going to have to tighten it up a little bit. Like the shot he tried to hit right on the line. The low ball that he hit in the first game, right? These are all little good signs for Nunes Powers that, quite frankly, just need to disappear from Anderson and Bostrom's game. And that's 2 missed overheads. All right. Break point here for Nunes Powers. Struggled mightily in that first set getting breaks. So far, they've gotten a break in this game here, and they're on a break roll, if you will. Getting their last couple of service games, they were able to break serve. Great move from Powers, just dictates with the forehand and finishes up. How about some of our sponsors, Mike?
Oh, yes, PPAC, Private Bank Trust, proud sponsor of the 2026 APTA Nationals. A single point of contact for a world of financial advice. Visit ppacprivate.com today.
PPAC Private. And just a phenomenal turnaround and start for Nunes Powers. You could see it start to creep in at the end of that first set. And, I have to imagine, when they got that first break and they got to 5-4 Nunes Powers, I was thinking, oh, they're going to turn this around. Yeah. It's going to be 5-all. And, of course, they didn't. And it worked out. But it's sort of like the flow of whatever was happening there towards the end of that first set is creeping now into the second set as we move on here. So great start, Nunes Powers, up 3-love. And you could see the way the game has changed completely. The cuts are starting to make a difference and starting to put pressure on Anderson and Bostrom. But they're still up a set, and they're still ahead. Yeah. Right? So, things are still positive for them. They're going to have to just tighten it up a little.
Well, in the top teams, they put that pressure on the opponents that you almost have to play. You can't afford to play anything but extremely high level, dedicated,
Yeah, focused
committed.
All the way through. You can't have valleys, right, where you're missing a bunch of balls, right, that kind of thing. We talk about the margins, right, of victory. The top teams have wider margins.
Yep.
That's why they win all the time. Another tweener. It's just a regular one, not
Just,
one dinking over the net.
Yeah, that's where Powers is dangerous.
Yeah.
2, 3 drives in a row.
And spotted. When we talk about Nunez hitting the different overheads, Powers does different forehands. And then with the same motion, he'll snap it up with spin at you. It's slow.
Yeah.
You know. All right, good start here in this game. Good call there from Bostrom. Telling Anderson to leave that ball. It does go out.
Boy, you watch that coil at the overhead. Early full set.
Smart. Good volley there, but nice quickness there from Anderson. He's, you know, people forget how young he was. He was a national junior champion when he was like 18. And, you know, quickly rose towards the top of the game very fast. He's still pretty young. He had to retire early because of the injuries a little, but plenty of life in Anderson's legs.
Yeah, clearly.
All right, another good call from Bostrom. And a couple of missed lobs there from Nunez. Triple break point from Anderson Bostrom.
Don't forget about the sudden deuce.
Quadruple, you're right, quadruple break point.
And there it is.
They only need one. Good pace serve on that. It didn't come off the back wire that much. Also a little behind Nunez. Can't come up with a dipping forehand. Ooh.
30 low.
Kind of a shocking, almost off the top of the paddle miss there. See, we talk about a little valleys here and there. That's like 3 missed lobs, missed drive there, and Nunez just having a couple of little blurts here. A little walkabout. They're up 3-love. They still got the lead, but this is going to put them, you know, right there. And what a big serve at the Powers that one was. And that was 2 quick games for Anderson Bostrom.
Yeah. I mean, this thing was hammered. It's their 5th game here. Time to talk about Skinletics, a cutting-edge red light therapy company built specifically for athletes, using advanced light technology to promote muscle recovery, reduce inflammation, and speed healing. Skinletics help competitors train harder, recover smarter, and get back in the game faster.
That sounds like we could use a little of that.
I know.
like, Mike, you're talking my language there. Cutting-edge red light therapy.
I saw in the players' recovery lounge upstairs of Canoebrook here, they had like almost you could lay on top of it, and might be hitting that between matches to keep me fresh.
Not a bad idea, Golden Tones. Maybe work on the vocal cords. You're going to be talking a lot this weekend. All right, again, great communication, Anderson Bostrom. I love it. And Nunes Powers just had a bit of a walkabout in those couple of games. It was, you know, a few gifts there. So great job, Bostrom Anderson. Right back in the second set. Oh, just carving that one. You were talking about it before, how he slides it to the ad court there. And that thing just died. Bostrom, no shot.
Bostrom Anderson would prefer to be at the net or in the backcourt?
You know, I think they're comfortable in both places. I think at this point, though, the more they can take the net, it's good for them in the sense like the carving overheads are definitely happening against them now. And the errors are becoming more like from the backcourt from Nunez and Powers. So, yeah, I think they'd rather be up there. Just not so easy against the top teams to hold the net consistently. They have such great offense back there. More so, they're struggling to control the point with their lobs quite as well. Just out. Another Nunez lob, just a little bit wide there.
And a lot of times you'll see a wide, you know, a lob miss wide due to the spin on the from the overhead, and the ball just kind of shoots off their paddle. But that was a
he was trying for offense. Yeah, he was trying to be very precise with a down the line lob, and just picked the wrong spot. You just didn't have enough margin for error, we'll say, I guess. Good switch in the backcourt. Nice move. Anderson knows he's going to cut across afterwards.
boy, I'm paying attention to how Nunez and Powers, you look how Powers, when Nunez is hitting the overhead, he's doing a full shift to his left to give Nunez pretty wide berth, great clearance.
Yeah, that's an easy sitter for, oh, right off the top of the net. Wisely left there from Bostrom.
Probably want to lob that next
yes,
time.
that would have definitely helped. Yeah, some good transition here. That's right in the crease, gets him, eats him alive again. He's letting it go in there, and that's been super effective because he's hitting it towards the crease too, and Bostrom's not sure because if he hits the side screen first, it's going to explode up and in and fast. If it hits the back screen, it's going to straighten out and stay along the side, and he's kind of hedging his bets. And in that case, he's in too close, and the ball just swallowed him up. Huge shot for Nunes Powers.
Well, and that's one of the benefits of that heavy slider.
There's a switch in the backcourt now, and I think it's strictly about defense on that shot there. But now, if Nunez wants to keep going after Bostrom, he can do it. And there's that shot. He's going for right on the line again. If he makes it, it's a hero shot, but I don't think hero shots are going to be what's going to win it for Bostrom and Anderson. And he finds, finds Anderson that time. Just great cut overheads. And I think it pretty much answers the question whether they'd rather be at the net or in the baseline, right? They're getting carved up pretty good. They're going to have a lot better, but they're struggling to just control the lobs well enough at this point. That was a huge game after kind of a couple of lackluster ones. But most of the errors have just been in the backcourt, really, for Nunes Powers right now. That was a good quick lob. Now, there's two schools of thought. Like, Nunez has made, like, 3 or 4, like, regular lob errors in this set. So do you go after him thinking he's going to make more? Or is the fact that you're going after him going to dial him in more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough question to ask. You always want to try to find a place where you can maybe get some points.
Yeah.
But when you start playing a guy more and more, it also kind of brings him back, you know, refocuses him. I mean, it's not so simple, to hit it to either Nunez or Powers. They both have offense all over the place. And it's sort of the story of what we're seeing now, these tiny moments of valleys. You're like, you know, just a couple of little misses, and then the other team throws in a couple little misses. You just got to straighten it out. Keep it even. I would love for them to get back to that low down the line lob again, too. The medium
that
height one.
Little block lob.
A little bunt lob down the line, yeah.
It's easier said than done on some of those.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I just said it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Game, Nunez and Powers.
All right, he's just got to put that game behind him.
Powers lead the second set, 5-2. Anderson Bostrom won the first set, 6-4.
All right, 63% in this set. Nunez Powers. And you can see the biggest thing is no sudden deuce wins and break points converted. Nunez Powers 3 for 3 this set, where they were 1 for 7 in the last set. And so tail of the tape right there, 5-2, Nunez Powers.
So if you were calling a timeout here for Anderson and Bostrom, you're down 2-5, second set, won the first set 6-4. What would you?
There's two specific things that I think are difficult for them. When they're at the net, they're going to have to lob a little more specifically. They're struggling to defend. And then when they're in the backcourt, they are, you know, I would just don't Martin Bostrom to play with better margins. You know what I mean? He's just trying to hit the line, you know, 2-3 misses right off the tape. You know, just play with some better margins.
15 low.
It's just some errors. Like that last game was really 4 errors. You know, it wasn't, I mean, of course there's some good shots. The game before, though, really carving up those overheads really well.
30 low.
Yeah, one of the things that I would have kind of coached up there is try to play this game, you know, because you can look at it two ways. You're down 2-5, you just kind of punt, play for the third set. But I think they need every point to get dialed in.
Absolutely.
And, you know, okay, play quality of points here, win or lose. And wow.
Once again, that long across the court, just killing it. He's dialed in on that corner. And that's 3 or 4 that Bostrom hasn't even made a swing at.
Yeah, that's 4 set points here. Yeah, when Nunez is moving to his left, hitting that slash to his right, and he's taking dead aim too. I mean, he's trying to hit that, you know, nick right into the corner.
Yeah, he's starting to do a ton of damage, Nunez, with the cut overhead. And, you know, what a difference it's making. And if they can find a way, it looks like they're trying to lob the ball over to their Powers. The problem is if they hit anything that's a little off, and Powers still has pretty good overhead, you know, but if they hit anything that's a little off, yeah, you're going to find Nunez coming right across. And if he gets to move to his left, Nunez, that's what actually puts the overhead into the ad court into play. Oh, it's called. I think Bostrom himself called that out, and Nunez was playing it, and it looked like it was wide.
Win the second set 6-2. Anderson Bostrom won the first set 6-4.
All right, there's Carol Evertson again giving us that report, and we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming by Joho and Streambox Lab and match statistics provided by Court Director.
Since 1990, Grant Homes has built more than 200 homes throughout northern New Jersey. We specialize in designing homes shaped around your vision, each one distinct and personal to the way you live. Our team brings together the architect, engineers, designers, and landscape professionals, coordinating every detail from the beginning. Jay Grant remains personally involved from concept to reality, guiding both client and team from planning through construction right up to move in. Our business platform is open book construction management. Clients see every cost, both soft and hard, with complete transparency from day one. Grant Homes, building distinctive homes with transparency, craftsmanship, and personal commitment.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Brad Easterbrook with Mike Raleigh, where our number 2 seeds of Nunez and Powers flip the script and win the second set 6-2. Let's take a quick look at our match statistics by court director, and what a difference there, Mike.
Yeah, they you know, you go from winning almost 50-50 in points won to, boy, Nunez and Powers 67% of the total points won, or like you said, 3 for 3 on
the break points, and no
points.
sudden deuce wins, which is really the difference in that first set. It was break points and sudden deuce, a couple of favorable breaks, but you know, total shift in the way that match was played too. The amount of cut overhead finishers from Nunes Power, if it were on the court director's thing, it would be like 7 or 8. The amount of cut finishers for Anderson and Bostrom would be probably 0, and they had 1 or 2 in the first set, right? So everything just sort of flipped over there. A little too many valleys there for Bostrom, and you know, Nunez had a little valley in there for one moment too, where they were just making a few errors, but they're just going to have to dial it back, and like I said, you know, play those games. And you would say that last game is not a throwaway, but it ended up being a very quick game, and it wasn't the type of game you wanted to build momentum with each point the same way you want to do it. So everything's sort of sliding in a direction here, but it's a brand new set, and we all know that how you come out makes a difference. And Nunes Powers came out great in that set, whereas in Anderson and Bostrom came out great in the first set. It set the tone for both of these things. So I think how these guys come out makes a huge difference, and probably even a bigger difference to Anderson and Bostrom.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, I think Anderson and Bostrom won the first 3 games, the first set, and then Nunez and Powers came back and ripped off 3. I think they went up 3-love as well.
Yeah.
And we've got to take 2 minutes anyway, minimum on the set over, but that's done. Well, no, every set changer, yeah.
2 minutes.
They're talking about the break here and the after break. I think Bostrom might be taking a, I'm not sure, but those guys are out there ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Pardon me?
Yeah, we're just waiting on Martin Bostrom.
Right?
It's nice. He's the oldest guy out there.
Yeah.
Show him a little respect.
That's right. Maybe he's in there using the Skinletics.
Skinletics. No, I think that might be
the
a
red
little,
light therapy.
You
might be a
can't
little
get
too
some
much.
red light therapy between sets. I think that's definitely. There should be a rule. If there's not, no Skinletics between sets. All right, so we're waiting on that. But you know, as we go forward, of course, the whole day we're going to be streaming. We got live streaming coming up at 4 o'clock and at 6 o'clock tonight. So it just matches all day long. Here, Friday, Saturday, we're going to be playing as well, and then just the finals on Sunday morning. So make sure you schedule all that in. Check out all the great action we have here. And there have been some great matchups, you know, throughout this tournament. It's great to see Johan Durant in the tournament, joined in last minute, seeded 5th here with Philippe Rams.
Yeah, I got to chat with him a little bit at the Hall of Fame dinner last night. Also got shout out to Rich Mayer, the Hall of Famer. I was talking to him this morning.
One of the greats. One of the greats, no question. All right, there's a great view of Mark Powers doing a little, that forehand volley. Powers, probably one of the best in the game for sure. It's just so quick with the way he just flips his paddle. Let's give you a good look of what he does. He missed that one.
You jinxed
in
him.
the practice. Yep, for sure did.
You know, I think if you know, one of the things that the majority of kind of the average players that you see on Sunday mornings or Tuesday nights, you know, their ready position is I'm on a one-man crusade to get the dual-handed motorcycle ready position out of it. Loved watching their Powers, that shot of Powers. Just solid.
Those. And as we come to the end of the season, too, of course, we have team nationals. And, Mike, you were heavily involved in team nationals.
Heavily, yes.
So that's, you know, going on March 28th, 29th in New Jersey, women's team nationals, April 11th, 12th in Chicago, and married and mixed nationals. You know, all great events. You know, you hosted last year's team nationals, correct?
Yeah, we have each year since its inception, like in 2000, so or 2019, I think it was. So yeah,
and it's, you know, phenomenal. What do you expect for teams and things out there?
We're in a wait list situation. We're at 82 teams, I think, and another 12 on the wait list. So there's
amazing.
575 ladies signed up so far. That's not including our wait list. Maybe that does include the wait list, but yeah, we are at packed to the gills.
Well, while we were talking about team nationals, Martin Bostrom slid in there and started that set right away. So they're underway here, Anderson and Bostrom. And this has been a shot that's been killing him. That one he goes wide on. It's just surprising. He's been dialed in it right at the crease in the corner. Nice move. Yeah, they're doing such a good job now in transition, Nunes Powers. And like we talked about, it would be huge if they could somehow get it through him. They threw him twice already in this, but they're not taking the net. And Nunes has just been so devastating with the cut overheads in the second set that it's going to be problematic if they can't get the net to some degree, Anderson and Bostrom. That's it. Oh! Nunez, it didn't look like it was going over. Good recovery there from Powers. This is a good balance point here. And that one's long.
It was a heck of a first point
yeah,
to start the third set, wasn't it?
Terrific. And I love the way both teams actually applied there. And great job. And like I said, though, and like we've been talking about, Anderson and Bostrom are going to have to find a way to hold the net a little bit better. The problem with Nunes Powers is there's so much offense back there. You know, if I'm then, I get back into, I'd rather start hitting it harder into Powers' corner a little bit and, you know, try to get it to the backhand side a little. Great shot. When these guys are moving forward and picking their spots from the center of the court, they're killing them, or they're just putting too much pressure on. Bostrom just lit those up, but Powers, great hands. Now there's Powers going for the line, going for the big winner. And we've seen in the match in general, has that worked out well, or has it been a negative for anybody who's going for it, right?
I think they've clearly, we've seen when they are missing, it's generally kind of too small
a window,
to target.
yeah. And that's really it. And it's been on both sides a little bit. That was a heck of a drive there from Powers. I think they thought it was going in the net, and the thing just slid right over. Anderson, flat-footed, couldn't get it. All right, couple break points. Nunes Powers, who were 3 for 3 in that second set. So they got 3 break points here.
You see Nunes just creeping up, applying position pressure.
It gets him really deep in the court. It's a really good look. Good job from Bostrom to close off the net, though. Puts extra pressure on it. Anderson's been going hard and heavy into the Powers forehand. Yeah, it's been a good serve. Sort of neutralizing that return. Can he? He did, but he can't come up with the shot. Great cut finisher there from Bostrom, and we have a sudden deuce point here. It's sort of reminiscent of the
Lob or
first
drive.
set. 3
Lob or
breaks.
drive. What do you
He
think?
always goes for it, but I think he's going to be more conservative, right? Good job. And smartly, that's a big serve. But this was the moment right here. I love this, kind of reminiscent of the first set, getting to the sudden deuce point. And oh my God, they lose it on a miscommunication.
I think he was going to let it go.
Powers lead the third
Oh.
set. 1 game to love.
Heartbreaker. All right, Nunes Powers, good start there. And that could have been a huge hold. Coming back from 3 points, break points down. And of course, as we get to the end of the season, we have the APTA Cup, all the standings for that. Regalado Salazar well ahead, but Nunez third place on that. He's won events with Mark Powers, with Salazar, and with Regalado. He's been across the board out there playing.
Yeah, this is a big moment here for Anderson and Bostrom to kind of see if they can set themselves up for really the set here. You'd hate to go down 2-love.
Correct. They got to kind of keep it close and then try to ride a valley, keep their valleys to a minimum, you know, and then the problem is that when they're back there, if they're not lobbing really well, then the pressure starts to come and they lose control of the backcourt point. And then they're finding that put away or pressure ball. If they can keep this thing going long enough, lob well enough, and then take their strikes while they're a little off the net, you know, it would be huge for them. And if they could find a way to neutralize the Nunez overhead, but that's what's been hard in these next few games, and then the last bunch of games. You know, they've done a great job with the schedule here at Canoe Brook. They, you know, left plenty of space in there, so if you get 3-4 hour matches, doesn't get too far behind. Been playing this morning. Everybody will get a good lunch break, plenty of time to get from place to place. Of course, the entire New Jersey paddle community is in there. Again, another low ball. Tough to make that ball go up over the net with pace and keep it in, and it looked like he was trying to body him. I wonder, like, I'm not sure if you should be doing it or not, but they're driving the ball through, but they're never getting a volley error or the net, right? And two of the things that they want, you know, for Anderson and Bostrom there. You know, I wonder if Anderson could start a little earlier and maybe try to get in there, because I feel like these points now, right here when it's like this, unless suddenly Nunez and Powers are going to start missing some balls, and that's a huge forehand there. Great shot from Anderson, and Powers just laid that right in there. Anderson moved up the wire, and he just laid it right into his forehand. It was a great shot. You know, these points with Nunez Powers at the net, they're just eventually just getting the ball. So he's going to get the net there. Good. Oh, he almost didn't. Yeah, he's still coming. Always looking to go forward is Nunez, and he had that one. It's a good little look, and it's surprising because you would think at that point he's just going to go back, but he doesn't. You got to be very aware of his tendencies there. Switch in the backcourt, like it. That's a tough one. And I feel like he's doing that because he's afraid to keep defending. You know, he just wants to go for it because he thinks if he's going to last longer, he's going to get carved up on the next one. It looked forced.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Powers and Nunez want.
Yeah.
You know, it's And both Nunez and Powers, they put, you know, there isn't a, I don't think there's a lob that they really feel comfortable in the backcourt. You know, it's always that kind of that, they're grinding to get, you know, to control that ball with all that spin.
Oh, great lob down the line. And they lost the net again. Aye. All right.
Love 15.
It's starting to bleed in the wrong direction here.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice the biggest difference there is when these guys transition through, they get the net. Like when Anderson and Bostrom drive the ball through, they don't get the net. And then they're just stuck. And it may be sitting right there, but it's an awful lot of pressure because even if you make it, are they going to miss that volley? They're going to make it. You know, you got to make another one. So, yeah, it's a miss, but where you're finding the points is it's getting a little trickier. Coming, that's a great move. Powers not going to be able to cover that.
And a great call, you know, that Bostrom let him know he was coming. And Anderson had the time then to adjust his overhead.
Yeah, that was a big point because that's the difference between Love 40 and 15-30. In a game they really almost can't afford to lose. Oh, trying to pick him apart, but he gets it back to neutral. Good job from Nunez. Oh. And then there's Powers just ripping a forehand down the line seconds later.
15-40.
Yeah, he's fully committed to going for these balls off the deck versus trying to defend them in the backcourt. And I understand to a degree why, but it's a little too much.
Game.
That's a good
Nunes
spot.
Powers. Nunes Powers lead the third set. 3 games to love.
All right, so that's just, we talked about having a good start here in this third set. And the good start right there is for Nunez Powers, winning 60% of the points. And Sudden Deuce wins. That's for the match summary right there. So that's the entire thing as we're going along here. But good start here for Nunez and Powers. And a big difference in how the tenor of the match is coming out. You know, it feels like they're starting to force and press balls because they don't want to defend in the backcourt. Yep. We're noticing that when they're driving it through, they can't get the net. Nunez Powers drive it through one time, they take the net. And the point differential now when Nunez Powers at the net, it's just too great.
Do you think they're not able to take, Anderson and Bostrom are not able to take the net when they drive through because they're hitting the ball harder? Is it coming out more than the?
Maybe, and I also think they're just not quicker about the move. You know, like, you know, Nunez is so quick about it. I think Anderson could be. Like, I think when Bostrom's starting to get ready to hit, Anderson can think about, okay, let me get a start forward.
Yeah.
Right? And he's sort of waiting, and then they're just like, and it's already too late. And also, I just think in transition, it's just a strength for Nunez Powers against Anderson Bostrom. They're just a little better at it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Nunez's ability to hold that ball off the screen, sort of slide it one direction or another, and then quickly be on, like blitzing right back.
Yeah.
It's just a little stronger. It's a stronger skill set for them. And they're finding a way to exploit that, and it's making a huge difference here as time goes on.
I mean, that ball is moving 2 panels from the middle all the way to the side screen. It's pretty impressive with that lefty spin.
Yes, no question. It's been a massive. Well, it's kind of what we were talking about in the first set. We thought we would see that, and the first set had that unique part of it. I mean, we might go the entire rest of the tournament and not see a set where the losing team won more points. They won 3 more points in the first set than Anderson Bostrom. You know, it's a unique set of statistics, and right now all the statistics are favoring Nunez and Powers. You know, and just in circumstances of that first set with the break points and, you know, a few missed opportunities. So 4 love now, Nunez Powers. And unless Bostrom and Anderson are just setting up this great comeback story, you know, they're going to have to change the strategy a little bit here. I got him that time.
Good volley from Bostrom right back at Nunez as he tries to sneak in there.
Yeah, that's the thing Nunez does so well. He got burned that time, but he takes that exact same ball, and to your point earlier with him hitting different over it, and he might dink that. Or he might hit it with a continental grip, look like he's dinking it, and then slap it at you flat. Right? He just sort of changes his shot. That time he came in with a semi-western full heavy topspin. It worked against him, but the fact that you're always having to think about it, like, it's just percentage driven, meaning, you know, he doesn't need to win every point. He needs to win 5 out of 9, you know, or 5 out of 8, right? And the fact that he changes it up all the time, meaning you're the one having to guess, like, and it makes you it's unnerving. You know, it's very unnerving.
Well, and he's able to win kind of with the move itself, like getting a high volley off that blitz. But then we've also seen him win 3 or 4 points where they've missed the volley because they were, you know, trying to be, you know, either too careful and avoid him or watching what he was going to do.
Right. All right, 30 all here. They just got to get a game, change this momentum a little bit. That is huge. Yeah, the bigger shots is a little too big. The bigger shots actually have not been favoring, I don't think, any of the teams really. Oh, we got him. Yeah.
Did that get off and skip off the left court?
I think it did. I'd like to see it, but it's hard. It's kind of, he's blocking it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, left court and into the body. Great shot there. But there's the Dinkin blitz. That was a huge game for Anderson Bostrom just to kind of get a foothold in this set and mini match game almost.
Yeah, that was
to go down 5-love would have been quite a mountain to try to climb. 4-1, at least it's in the manageable range. But now let's see the service game, and we said, you know, when Nunes Powers at the net, they just had great success.
And I think that, you know, as we talked at length about this single biggest hurt that's hurt him has been that Nunez slasher. You know, when he's stepping forward and moving a little to his left and slinging it back into the outside.
Switching the backcourt. Oh, he got him again!
Back-to-back tags off the left court.
I think I can go a while before I see that again, too. That's cool.
15 all.
Bostrom hugging that net. I actually like it. Dinkin blitz from Powers that time.
Said, hold my beer, Nunez.
There you go. Right.
Watch this.
Stepping on his turf. Oh, huge cutter. What I loved about
15-30.
the way Anderson and Bostrom went about that point is they went into a bunch of floating eye. Like, put that guy really tight to the net, the other guy covers behind.
30 all.
And the cutoff made all the difference in the world there. 30 all here. It's a moment. They get this game. A short bit ago at 4-love down, you would have thought dead in the water. 4-2. Creeping in, momentum shift.
30,
Take it. Use it. Two break points here for Anderson Bostrom.
Great lob from Bostrom.
Yeah, much better. Again, just going for the line. And that gives us to a sudden death point here. Anderson, big return on the line. Oh, what a missed volley! They were going to get the net. Oh, big moment there. What a change. All right, 5-1 now. The mountain got a little higher to climb for Anderson and Bostrom.
Love 15.
It just keeps that constant pressure, that press, press, press. Steals time and distance away from the volleyer.
Yeah, and it makes it hard to hit. Like, a lot of times you want to be able to control your volley, but you don't know where he's going to hit the forehand.
Yeah.
If he's going to swing it to your left or right, he's so facile, so quick with his wrist action that he flips the ball to the outside of the inside beautifully. So when Powers comes like that, with that mid-range forehand, I think it's better to just leave, period.
Yeah.
Like, don't even try to volley the next ball. You might make it, but he's going to tattoo the next one. I think you're better leaving, don't even get involved. Oh, good. Just slid that down the line.
15-30.
Hold that. Come on.
See, here he comes again.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just leave. At that point, I think I leave. I just don't see any benefit there. So triple match point here for Nunes Powers. Weather losing that first set 6-4 in some crazy cool circumstances. Now they're on the doorstep doing what the number 2 seeds do, which is taking home another victory. Not that time.
40.
1 break point saved.
Oh, ho, ho.
How about that?
What a great cutter.
Fantastic. All right, sudden death here. Match point number 3 for Nunes Powers.
Game Bostrom.
Wow.
Nunes and Powers lead 5 games to 2 in the 3rd set.
Well, we missed that as we were getting the replay there. He must have just hit a big challenging serve in there to Powers, and it looked like a missed return.
Missed return in the net.
So he went for it. And there's still some life left in Anderson Bostrom's dream run here at Nationals. If it's going to be Bostrom's swan song, let's make it make it a good one. And it's been a great match all the way through. And win or lose, great career for Martin Bostrom. And it's great to see just Blake Anderson back out there. Injuries have derailed him for a while, but if we could see him out here more, that would be great. Oh, what a flipper drive there from Powers. mini fist pump.
Oh, man.
Like a mini one, like, yeah.
Got to take your hat
He
off
expected
to
it.
that
It was
shot,
just
don't you?
great. He's continental. He flips it cross court.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Do it off the backhand
off
side.
the backhand
Come
side.
on, Powers.
Wow, good digs there from Powers. He gets a little wrong-footed, turned around. He had him pretzeled, but comes up with it. That's a beautiful cutter there again. And when you get to the doorstep, there is a danger of sort of losing your way a little bit.
Yeah.
Things, you know, or getting a little loose, like when you're right there and you have the 3 match points. You got to take a second and make sure you stay refocus or reset yourself, essentially.
I think the big thing that momentum flipper, you know, where you flee is usually like some sort of silly shot. Some might say, you know, where you go for maybe a highlight reel shot, and you end up missing it, and then it like flips that switch. So,
right,
been guilty of that a number of times.
And that's to say, I love that lob there. The, you know, there's nothing to lose really for Anderson Bostrom, right? You know, too. So he hits that cutter to get back a break point, huge, and then he hits the huge serve, and they take that last game. You know, they can count on some good fortune. It's important for Nunez and Powers not to give him any rope to work with, right? You know, to give him anything to work with. You know, sure, if they come up with 10 of those, well, then whatever. But they're not going to come up with 10, right?
Yeah.
They only have to weather a couple of them. And just don't give it back, you know, by getting pressing on the next one or whatever. It doesn't look like they're going to do that here. It looks like they're bouncing into a nice kind of rhythm here. Ah, that was good.
I like the look, yeah.
It was a good look, but he did get confused. He was moving up the wire first. Then he gets the look off the back screen. Wasn't quite set, but it was definitely a high forehand. Great, huge return from Bostrom. Oh. Rollers towards the crease. So much action, and again, it's 40 plus degrees. It's going to be 50 degrees by the end of this weekend. There's going to be plenty of ability to compress and spin overhead the ball, and it's made a huge difference in this match. See, again, they're not able to get the net there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's too hard or if they're just afraid of the skill set of Nunez around the post. He had a shot at it.
30-40?
Yes, ma'am.
Great dead hand drop. The ATP around the post.
Just missed.
All right, 2 more match points for Nunes Powers here, 40-30. No, there's one.
Wow.
Another match point save, so 3 match points in the game before. That's 4 match points saved now for Anderson Bostrom as he howitzers that ball's in there, and we got another sudden death. Point here. Could it be 2 in a row? What a difference it made in that first set. Right at the crease from Powers.
Do you think the Powers and Nunez would want to get the Nunez involved in more of these overheads? We haven't seen.
I mean, they would want to. There's no question that he's done a tremendous amount of damage with it. And they're going exclusively to that left quadrant there, trying to force as many overheads into Powers as they can. Oh, that's a good lob there, though. Tricky. It's a good setup. Oh. Look at those volleys. I mean, he's just tattooing those at him. They're just standing there. This is the one.
There's
right at the
the
crease.
overhead.
Great defense. Not quite getting it at the corner enough. And that is another sudden death game.
Anderson Bostrom. Nunez and Powers lead the third set. 5 games to
This is where it
3.
gets a little
Dude, this
interesting,
is,
Mike. You start
fantastic.
to feel it a little
Yeah.
bit. 2 sudden death games and 5 set points or match points saved. Yeah, that looked like it was long.
See it long, Martin.
You want to play again? You thought it was good, Mark?
I
Play again. No, take it. Sorry.
didn't have it.
You know, great sportsmanship. Carol Evertson said, I could not see it. She couldn't make the overrule. Bostrom gives them a, you know, a let, basically. It's up to him, a redo.
Yeah.
He said, if you see it out, these guys are all great sportsmanship. And actually, as we heard off air, Carol Evertson before, you know, basically telling all 4 players, great sportsmanship. You guys have been amazing out here. It's been a pleasure calling the match. And as we were on one of our breaks, and they have been. And these guys are all friends. And it's a huge switch around there because Bostrom didn't have to give him that.
Yeah.
He could have just stood to the call, no overrule. That's his point. You know,
15
15 all now. And I will say Anderson and Bostrom did a very good job hitting heavy, challenging serves in there to the ad court to Bostrom. I mean, to Powers. Volley there. Oh, can he dig it? No.
Wow.
And again, Powers, I think he's gotten so confident in Nunez's ability to do it. He's not sliding to the middle enough, or maybe it's just happening too fast. It's hard to see. When Nunez makes that move in there, I'd take a step towards the middle and get behind him, but what a great volley. Huge
Boy, he tattooed
return.
that thing.
Yeah, he did.
30 all here.
Another
Game
big
point.
point. Game point for Anderson Bostrom, hanging around, saving match points. And another,
Wow.
I don't know why he's bothering to try to return that. It's just too good.
Anderson Bostrom. Nunez and
I mean, that
Powers.
heavy,
just
heavy
too good.
spin.
Third set.
It's too good. 5-4 now. Down 4 love. Squeaked in the game to 4-1. Down 5-1. And now it's 3 in a row. Anderson Bostrom hanging around, making it hard, and making Powers and Nunez serve it out. Along the way, saving 5 match points. And as confident as Mark Powers is in his forehand, and understandably so, it's one of the best shots in the game, their serves to that ad court have been huge.
Yeah, they've
you
kinda-
know, I mean, I think, you know, he did hit a winner on the ball before, tattooed it, and he got it. But on a big point like that, I feel like he hasn't had the better of it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you know, like he's gotten a few, because he's never not going to get a few, right? But it might be better or wiser to lob, because they're not like, they're doing it every time.
Yeah.
Heavy, heavy, hard serve. Switch in the backcourt. And I think the switch in the backcourt is mostly because the more dangerous overhead's the one that's going to the left, you know, to the ad court. He can still carve it up pretty good to the deuce court as well. That's a great little cut finisher there. 30 love now, 2 points from victory. Nunes Powers, they've had 5 match points already. And that's the dangerous shot right there. That's the most dangerous overhead, which is why they're switching it. All right, so 4 more match points for Nunes Powers here. This is where they've been hanging around and making some crazy good shots, Anderson and Bostrom. Playing with a lot of fire, but all right, he's going to wait on this one. Goes heavy, good block. Huge forehand from Bostrom. Oh, Anderson easily tracks it down. But it might go right into the crease. Yeah, again, sort of the tail of the tape. Oh, and it ends with a missed drive from Bostrom. What a show, Mike.
Yeah, that was a great match, Brad.
What a great match. And if it is the final main draw match for Martin Bostrom, great career it was, and what a great match that was. Let's take a quick look at the match stats by court director. All right, so all told on the match, 58% of the points, and you know, sudden deuce wins 4-2 for Anderson and Bostrom. One of the big reasons why it was such a close match, and match points converted again, 1 out of 6 there. And when it's all said and done, 4 out of 7 versus 6 out of 17 for Nunes Powers on the break points. And I think some of it was, you know, Powers might want to look back at this match and go, you know what, I have a great forehand, but maybe I should just lob these. You know, on a couple, not all, but like there were definitely 2 or 3 points that got finished just with the return of serve. Yeah. But the serves were just so good into that ad court. Sometimes, you know, discretion, as they say, is the better part of valor, right? Anyway, it was a great match here. Any final thoughts, Mike?
Boy, congratulations to Nunes and Powers. They righted the ship.
They certainly did, yeah, and we had that unique first set where they actually won more points, so it's a cool thing to do. Great job by court director, great job from our producer, Gil, and that's a wrap for this men's round of 32, and we're going to be back at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock with women's round of 16 and men's round of 16, so go take a break, order some food, come on back here, and we'll see you guys later this afternoon. That's a wrap here for this men's round of 32.
The business owners that I'm working with have entrusted Corient in this work because we're really focused on supporting them in their important endeavors. They're functioning every day in their zone of genius, and their expectation of us is we're doing the same. My name is Anna Diaz. I'm a partner and wealth advisor at Corient. When we think about the work we're doing for our clients, we think about first financial, absolutely. It is not uncommon that our very successful business owners and clients are making disjointed decisions. Our job is to provide a proactive strategy so the filter in which they make these decisions is informed. Second is the emotional load. Our clients often are asking themselves, what am I missing? Our job is to remove that mental load so they feel that their strategy is optimized, is simplified, and is executed cleanly. And the third is generational. Absolutely, there is technical design that goes into that, but it is also the thoughtful impact they want to have with what they've created.